Kenyatta's floods. Now, President William Ruto now says a substantial intervention has been implemented to address the unfolding flood crisis, noting that the government has allocated resources to ensure that vulnerable cases have access to sufficient food. Speaking at State House, Nairobi, during a meeting with agencies responsible for different facets of disaster response, the president declared that a national disaster operations center has been activated to oversee coordinated responses. Additionally, the president stated that the Kenya Defence Forces, that is KDF, will handle last-mile deliveries by air, particularly in counties severely affected and isolated by floods. Violet Auma reports.
Kenya is already soaked, and water will be now flowing when it rains, and therefore we run a higher risk of flooding in different parts of Kenya.
Speaking at State House, Nairobi on Saturday after meeting a multi-agency emergency response team, President William Ruto acknowledged the urgent need to tackle the repercussions of the ongoing El Niño rains following a devastating toll of 70 lives lost and tens of thousands displaced across the country due to widespread flooding.
The rains have resulted in an emergency situation in Kenya. Many roads across the country, especially in the northern part of Kenya, have been washed away. There are trucks stuck everywhere with food, medicines, fuel that is now unable to reach their destinations. Unfortunately, we have lost 70 people across Kenya because of these rains, and about 36,160 households have been displaced so far.
Ruto said that the floods witnessed in various parts of the country are destructive and that his government has taken concrete measures, both short and long term, to address the crisis. In response to the unfolding emergencies, the head of state announced that his cabinet will convene an emergency meeting on Monday to strategize on crisis management.
Cabinet will meet on Monday to deliberate on the various recommendations that have been made to ensure that the country is better prepared for the management of the situation that we see unfolding. Immediately, the National Disaster Operations Center has been rolled into place. Senior government officials will now move to the National Disaster Operations Center, including those from the various agencies, the military, the Ministry of Roads, the Council of Governors, and all the other stakeholders, including Ministry of Health, to make sure that we coordinate all the information.
He said that his government has set aside 2.4 billion shillings to assist those affected by the floods, with Kenya Defence Forces playing a crucial role in airlifting essentials like food to isolated communities.
I have instructed KDF to provide their air service facilities to airlift any commodities required in different parts of Kenya, and especially the last mile deliveries in the counties that are now marooned by floods.
Despite the challenges, Ruto encouraged Kenyans to leverage the rainfall by engaging in farming activities, noting that the government has distributed subsidized fertilizers to support agricultural efforts. The president's statement comes in a wake of criticism he faced last month for downplaying the likelihood of El Niño rains, asserting that the heavy rainfall expected will not be destructive.
As our dams fill up, citizens are informed across especially in the areas that we could have overflow of dams, so that citizens are relocated early.
This situation unfolds as the country, already recovering from the worst drought in 4 decades, now grapples with devastating consequences of widespread flooding. Reporting for TV 47, I'm Violet Auma.